Lunchtime Friday means Brice Jones, BBQ PitMaster, joins me inside the Charles Schwab studio. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
How was last weekend? Did you make it to the Friday game? Because you were telling me Friday, right?
Man, I was Friday. Saturday I couldn't go. Sunday was
there was no Sunday.
Sunday was depending on weather beforehand.
Well,
I was still planning to go up until it got canceled. I just wasn't going to go up there until, it's like, it's coming to this. I was like, no, it's not. Because I'm a little further south, and I was talking on Twitter. They're like, oh, it's first pitch 9:10. It's like it just started pouring here. It's still flashing. They're like, there's no rain at Olson. I was like, it's coming. I was like, I'm 15 miles from the ballpark. It will be there. And then that was near the end when they finally called it. So, but was still planning to go. Even if they'd have done first pitch at 9:00, I would have gone Sunday.
Ooh, wow.
But Friday was fun. Lots of offense, lots of fun. And then Saturday, even more fun. You got the dub.
Now, from your perspective, the crowd is being hailed as one of the greatest, maybe, of any Aggie athletic event ever.
I mean, I don't know about that. I've been to a lot of football games that were pretty intense and pretty loud. Like, yeah, I mean, they were all in on it. They were all in sync with the boos. I'm so happy for that, and not the the stupid hiss and all that. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty loud. It was the obviously 203 and all the fans were into it and giving Slosh a bunch of hell, and so it was fun. But I don't know about the craziest environment ever at an A&M sporting event.
How about Aggie Baseball? Let's just stick with one sport.
Probably one of the better ones I've ever been. No, look, Oregon Super Regionals, that one was better. It just was. There was more on the line than just beating up your old head coach. And so
there's a lot of people that haven't been around Aggie Baseball as long. The A&M Clemson, and I don't know if that was a super or the regional finals was pretty intense too. The biggest one for me in my history of going to Aggie baseball games, Oregon A&M. That game kind of takes the cake for me still. That was yours.
Yeah, so far. I mean, I have a very bad memory. So in the short term, yeah, that's the one that sticks out as being the best. There was just more on the line. This one was. It was fun.
Epic,
it was fun.
It was epic, outstanding.
It was packed.
Cathartic.
Yeah, it was packed. Everybody, like I said, was from the moment he walked onto the field. I mean, the upside down pineapples behind the first, but first base dugout was hilarious. Like, it was just all in good. Just giving them hell, and then of course it helped that you won baseball games.
Well, in the end, okay, this is it's the only thing that matters. But that's how you make it all work. You have to win, or it's all a joke on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you have to win.
Then they get to turn around and
scoreboard.
Yeah, laugh at you for you did all this, you said all these things about me, and you booed me every time I came out of the dugout, but we still won. Well, they didn't, and I do wish they would have played Sunday. Obviously, I mean, their Sunday guy is pretty much he's an ace. He should be a Friday guy. Valantis it would have been interesting to see this offense against what might be the best pitcher they faced all year. I hate that we didn't get that matchup, this offense versus Valantis.
I will say, though, I remember you and I talked, and then you agreed with me, but basically we thought that this elite offense, like 6 runs a game, would have been outstanding against that pitching just because. Yeah. And if you would have averaged 6 runs a game in this series, you would have had an incredible weekend. My bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, and they scored more than that.
They averaged 20 runs 2 games.
I think we said, I was like, if they win one game this weekend, it'll kind of be a win. I mean, we thought, obviously it was the best pitching staff they were going to face.
They held on to win the Friday.
Yeah,
that's something they really hadn't done all year. That was the trick.
Yeah, who knew that little extra run in the 8th would pay off huge after Freshcorn gave up the 2 bombs in the bottom, the top of the 9th. But they held on to win, and then they put a whooping on them on Saturday.
Yeah, they held on to Friday. They won a Friday. You could phrase it either way. That was the whole difference.
Yeah,
because if not, we would have went into Sunday. They'd have had their ace on the mound and with the series on the line.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say this offense is elite. I mean, we talked about it. If they could, you said that like 6 runs a game, you'd be really happy with it. But I mean, this offense is really good. They work the counts. They get on base. Obviously, they. With Sorrell and Grahovac, and they've got 3 freshmen All-American out there playing, pretty dang good for freshmen. And then you throw in Grahovac and Sorrell, who are All-American type players. Bear Harrison seems like all he does is get on base, and so there's not really a weakness, in the lineup with the lineup the way it is right now. I guess the biggest weakness, it's TK. which is kind of surprising this year. He just, the biggest weakness in that lineup right now is, TK is like 1 for his last, like they're 2 for his last 30.
But you have depth and options.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like he just got back into what lineup do we see this weekend? Do they go back to Bender up at the DH and Dewar back in left field and TK back on the bench? Like we'll see. I don't know if he'll change it much after taking the series from Texas and how well the offense did, but the offense was doing great with Bender up in at DH and Dewar in left field. So we'll see what they roll out tonight.
I shared this in hour number 1. You talked about the offense doing great. They lead the SEC in 6 different offensive categories. Scoring at 9.9 runs per game, batting average at 288, slugging percentage at 559, walks at 108, and that is the magic number of all of them. Okay,
getting on base.
Doubles at 31 and triples at 4.
Yeah, and I'm sure the other categories are led by Georgia. So, if you look at the SEC, obviously there's lots of talent up and down, but you look at the 2 best offenses, and it's A&M and Georgia by far.
Yep, and the reason why they get to lead in all these is they passed the Texas test. They didn't do the league norm versus Texas.
Yeah.
They didn't get shut down by the Texas pitching staff where 85% of every other team will be. They actually beat the norm. They thrived versus the Texas pitching staff.
Yeah, and here, I mean, look, like I said, the A&M offense is going to score runs. Sure, will they have a game where they score 1 or 2? It's going to happen. Somebody on the mound is going to have a good day and have their number, but when you look at it, again, the pitching staff is just got to continue. They're not the level, SEC level. They're not Texas, as good as their starting rotation, but they have to continue to pitch as well as they have been. It's not been great, but as long as you can keep them under 5 runs, you've kept this team in the ball game because of how many runs they can score.
Is this you were talking about A&M pitching staff? What you need from them?
Yeah,
they need to not be awful.
Yeah. Just be good. They don't have to be great. Just be good. Don't be awful. Don't be bad. Just be good. Give them 5 or 6 innings and give up 4 runs, and this offense will score enough.
That's
to
so
win games.
weird, and I'm not used to having such low expectation.
Yeah,
but you're right. You said 5 and 4.
Yeah,
I'm good. And then if the bullpen bleeds a run from there, so it's a 5 run. You've given up 5 runs.
Yeah,
and you're
then
happy
you are putting a ton of pressure on your bullpen that doesn't have a lot of experienced arms. When you get that 5 runs. But I mean, you look at Sims. He's usually given minus the weather delay where he sat for 2 hours and then came back out, which I didn't like. But then he pitched well. I didn't like it because of how bad the Texas pitcher came out of there. I was like, nope, I don't want to see Sims. Anybody else? And he did well enough to hold him down. And even with the huge long delay. So it's really about Sadeo and Moss or whoever TBA ends up on Sunday. Whether Moss, because I think they wanted to use Moss on Friday or Saturday, and the situation never arose. When they went to fresh corn in the 7th, it was like, okay, even if he can't get us all 3 innings, he gets us 2, then we have Weston Moss sitting back here that we know we can go to. Didn't have to use him on Saturday. They're like, oh, well, let's we'll roll him out as a starter. I think it'll be the same way this weekend.
Sure. I was okay. The way I guessculated, is you could throw Moss on Friday or Saturday, but if he's only throwing 2 innings, he could still start on a Sunday.
Yeah,
and go 2 or 3 innings.
Go 2 or 3 innings, and
Cunningham could go 2 or 3 innings, and Gavin Lyons, depending on how many innings he threw, can throw 2 or 3 innings on Sunday.
And that comes down to how many innings can Sadeo and Sims eat up before that Sunday. Will depend on who throws on Sunday.
On Sunday, you want between 6 or 7 innings combined, and I said it last week. Yeah. You take Moss, Cunningham, and Lyons. And between the 3 of them on a Sunday, can you get 6/7? And I don't know who pitches the distribution, but those 3, can they equal 6 or 7 on a Sunday?
You win Friday and Saturday, I don't care who pitches on Sunday. I really don't. You've won the series. A sweep would be great, but honestly, if you can guarantee yourself a win on Friday and Saturday because you run Moss and fresh corn out there both games, then you do that. And Sunday, you just figure it the hell out. Who cares? You've won the series. Who cares what happens on Sunday?
6 pitchers each get designated 1 inning, and you just pray.
And you hope your offense on Sunday can score 10 runs, and it's a 10-8 ball game. You don't care. So win Friday and Saturday, do all you can. And
they lost to OU 12-10 on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a typical Sunday game. You see those high scoring matchups, and so if you've won Friday and Saturday, then you don't really worry about it that much on Sunday.
Fair enough. No. Everything you're saying, completely logical. If you want to do a race to 10, I'll bet on this offense 10 times. I might lose 2 of my bets, but if I go 8-2 and I'm betting money, I'm going to win a lot of money.
Yep, absolutely. So, and the offense has obviously been on a heater. It's been very interesting to watch.
You mentioned it puts a lot of pressure on the bullpen. I actually think it puts a lot of pressure on the offense because you're not allowed to have an off night.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
they're the ones that every night
if they go into it knowing, hey, we got to score 7 runs. You can press a little bit, but we hadn't seen that here lately. So, maybe for these guys, it's not something that bothers them. They're like, hey, we're going to go out there and get our swings in and do what we need to do. And maybe it's not a bunch of pressure because I think these last 3 weekends, they've known they had to score 7 runs and hadn't bothered them one bit.
Do you think that when you're as up and down the lineup as they are, that relieves all the pressure? Like,
I think so.
Because they could just rock back and they know that someone's going to get it done.
Someone's going to pick them up.
I thought last year, going back to last year, which I know we shouldn't because that's the dark days. I thought last year every player, every at-bat was trying to hit a 5-run home run.
Yeah.
And I mean every at-bat, every game, and that's why it spiraled so bad. A was injuries. I think A was injuries. And B, every player felt the burden of being the number 1 team in the country consensus. And when it started to spiral, when it started to not go south, they all tried to do too much. They didn't try and do their part.
Think about what that lineup would look like with a healthy Grohovac and Sorrell last year. You know what I'm saying? With Lavalette and all the other guys. Like, it just, injuries were a big part of it. They pressed after that and dug themselves a hole that they couldn't get out of.
Yeah.
And so,
this year's team is 8 deep offensively. So you don't go up there ever thinking I need to have a 5-run bomb.
Yeah. And they don't swing like it this year. They're putting good swings on the ball. They're attacking balls in the zone. They're walking a lot more this year. Their strikeout rate's still going to be a little high because they're on swing. You know what I'm saying? They're up there looking to swing at their pitch, and sometimes, and I think you see it a lot with Sorrell. Like, Sorrell sees one in the zone, he's going to get it, and sometimes it can lead to a higher strikeout rate, but they're getting on base at a high clip too, so you don't really worry about it.
Walks are secret. It doesn't matter what version of offense you run.
Yeah,
walks are killers.
It's the difference between last year and this year. Both teams struck out a lot, but last year's team did not walk as much as this team is. They were just striking out a lot last year, and this team is doing. Their strikeout numbers are down here actually in SEC play here lately, but their walk numbers are way up. Their hit by pitch number. I mean, just getting on base, finding a way to get there.
That makes every hit count.
Yeah. I mean, it puts pressure.
You get to their bullpen quicker.
It puts pressure on the pitcher. Guys on base, and got to keep an eye on them. And they have some guys with look, Pennington's shown that they're gonna run. Guys you wouldn't even expect to run they're gonna take off. I think that was evident by I think I've seen Blake Benderup try to steal twice this year, and so that big guy's. I watched him a lot from the time he was little all the way through high school. He's not fast, so. They're going to put pressure on you on the base paths, and getting on base just again ups the pitch count, put stress on the pitcher, and opens some holes in the infield and outfield when they have to move to double play depth. It opens up a hole here. They can't shift the way they want to because there's guys on first and second against a Sorrell or Grohovac, and so guys on base just you look at the top of the order. It's even the bottom guys, Bear and Kellner, getting on a lot because Grohovac and Sorrell both have huge RBI numbers in the 1 and 2 hole.
According to Trey in College Station, Aggie Baseball strikes out the least. So I don't have the strikeout team totals in front of me. He says A&M strikes out the least. So if you pair that with the stat I do have, that they walk the most and you strike out the least.
Yeah, it was, and I, like I said, I didn't know the numbers. Early on in SEC play, when they were kind of scuffling a little bit, they were striking out a lot. It was 10 plus, again, I said these last 8 or 9 games, they're not nearly striking out the rate they were.
So if they balance that out, and you're on the opposite extreme in the right way in both those stats,
good things
your
will
offense
happen.
is pretty good.
Good things will happen.
Yeah, offensively, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
A&M LSU this weekend, there's a million, there's always narratives. But to me, there's a very simple concept. And you can almost turn this into a football thing because people get football. After you beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa, you need to win the next game.
Yeah.
You don't throw back the momentum you just got. In A&M's last 5 games, if I'm ranking the opponents, LSU's 4 or 5. You're the favorite in this series. This is just about keeping the momentum. You're now a bona fide, newly printed top 10 team. You're like 12, 11 RPI. So now you're in that hosting. Now you want to push for super. You need to beat LSU this weekend and just take care of business.
Yeah, you do. I mean, look, LSU is a super talented team. They're
preseason top 5.
Yeah,
right?
they haven't been playing like it. But the fact is, the talent level on that roster is top 2 in the SEC. So if you hope this is not the weekend they figure it out,
and it's in the box. You're going to their house.
Yeah, it is going to be tough going on the road. LSU has a great environment there, but yeah, you just want to handle business, take the series. However that is, like not expecting a sweep, but go there, handle the series, do your, take 2 of 3 and move on, because then you do. If you take 2 of 3 here and then you start creeping into the, hosting a super, type conversation. So, lots on the line this weekend. I mean, every weekend it's the SEC is so talented. You just have to, keep your foot down and keep it going.
When you have momentum, I hate fumbling it away. That's that.
Well, here, I think if there was going to be a letdown, it would have been Tuesday night, coming off of that series with Texas and all of it for all the guys that were here and, everything that played into it. And then they went out and rolled Houston like it was nothing instead of struggling. Again, this weekend, it could still be a thing just because LSU's that talented. Not that it could not be, they could go and lose 2 or 3 and it have nothing to do with the Texas series. It just LSU played like a top 5 team because, they have the talent level to be that.
Yeah. I take care of business. Not every weekend is going to be the biggest moment of your life. And going from the high of Texas, the return of Slosh, and there is a high with going to LSU. When you go play at the box, there is a high. And LSU and A&M tend to not be doing dinner together.
Yeah. Well, and look, in LSU, when all these guys hit the portal, recruited, Jay Johnson himself said, he goes, I recruited the hell out of Caden Sorrell. He goes, I did everything I could to get him here.
Correct.
He was doing it to Jay, Sorrell, Grohovac. They wanted all of them. And so, there's a lot on the line this weekend, and it'll be a tough series, but one that, should be fun.
One that A&M should win, and I use the word need.
You keep saying should. I think, look,
they're the favorite.
Yeah, barely. I mean, they're should win and must win are definitely. It's not a must win, but it's but
I say need. I just taking care of your higher order priorities.
The way they've been playing, they should win, but based off talent level alone, it'll be a battle.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun, just like Texas was this weekend.
I don't know if LSU can match with them.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think Texas pitching LSU's pitching staff has the talent level to shut a good offense down if they're on.
There you go.
If they're on.
What did you say at the start?
Yeah.
Is this the weekend? Well, if this is the weekend they show up and talent comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It could be. You never know, but obviously A&M's a very a top 10 talented team too, so should be a fun series.
We'll take a timeout. Look. I'm asking Brice questions. We hang out, we talk. There's something you want to ask Brice, something you want to ask me. There's something you got to say. Questions, comments, opinions. Text 979-693-1150. Always checking out the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. It's the Louie Bellina Show, Friday on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
You can get the podcasts of Texangs Live, The Louie Bellina Show, or Chip Howard at zone1150.com, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
The Louie Bellina Show, down the stretch we come. On the Friday edition, the Louie Bellina Show, inside the Charles Schwab studio. A reminder, I always say text, but you can always call. You can talk to Brice and I on the D4 Land Services hotline. When it's time to win, you'll call the D4 Land Services hotline. And most guests, not Brice, he's here with me, but join me on the D4 Land Services hotline. If you ever need your land cleared, land excavated, your land fixed up, go to d4landservices.com. d4landservices.com. Brice, I have a simple question for you. We were talking about environments and Aggie Baseball, the Texas weekend, and you said the Aggie Baseball at the Oregon Super Regional is maybe for you, and I remember some atmosphere. Period. I don't care what sport. What was the toughest, most hostile, craziest environment, home road, baseball, A&M, I don't care.
LSU football, night game, LSU Death Valley.
You were there?
Yeah, there. I've been twice, and both
times.
Share
the tale.
Both times. No, I mean the fans are just crazy. It's loud. The fans are ruthless. They're not really that nice. They're nice to you, offering booze and stuff before the game. But yeah, it's a pretty ruthless environment. It's a lot of fun.
When did you go?
I've been twice. It was in. God, one was for LSU Alabama, which was a while ago. Yeah, that was before A&M in the SEC. And then the other one was...
So you went to go see them play someone that they truly hate, in their bones. They actually, I don't know if it's annoyed is the word with A&M, but they have a strong dislike, but they hate Alabama.
Yeah, it was a cool game to be kind of neutral in that fact. And then the other one was Johnny, when Johnny was here at A&M LSU. So it was fun.
I went to... And you got to understand the years in beer, so things blur from me. But I tried to go to 3, and I think actually made it there for 1 or 2. You know how you don't always make it all the way there?
Yeah.
Sometimes you make a stop and you're having so much fun you don't continue the trip.
Yeah.
Because I was going to the Super Bowl in New Orleans once, and we had so much fun we didn't leave Lake Charles.
Yeah. I almost missed A&M La Tech in Shreveport, the Johnny night where he ran for however many yards, and it was A&M La Tech. Shreveport was in the casino.
Oh, yeah.
Was on a heater. Wife was like, it's time to go. I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. So we missed the first quarter because I wouldn't leave the table while it was hot. So.
I've missed entire events because I've been running.
Yeah.
We didn't go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you don't get up from the table that's on a heater. So we did not. So
My LSU game that I remember, and I'm pretty sure I went to 2. I just don't remember the other one. I don't know how to explain it any other way. It is. I know that's the toughest environment because what you just said. There's not much more, but there is just at night a strangeness that comes with it because the accents, the smells, they're hostile as hell. The word is hostile. Everything is hostile. Okay. Now, I don't think anyone's going to shank you. It's not that level of hostile, but it's in the back of your head sometimes, maybe.
It's always a possibility.
And Brice said it. Look,
at least some fists thrown
before games. They'll give you some food. They got the best tailgating I think I've ever seen, food wise, and they're actually like give you a beer. I mean, just as long as you don't wear your jersey and start yelling in their face, nothing stupid will happen, right?
Yeah.
But the close here you go, and this is not just football, but other sports. The closer you get to the stadium, the more intense it gets. So when you're on the fringes of the tailgating, everyone's like, "Oh, you're here for the game." And then once you get up front, what are you doing in my house?
The F-bomb start that you can't hardly understand. But yeah, I mean, look, I've been to a lot of games, a lot of different places. None of them really come close to A&M. Bama, Ole Miss, like all these SEC schools, Texas, Oklahoma, Tech, like they just don't compare to the atmosphere at A&M. Like even LSU's, while it's great, it's not A&M's, and that's for me going to a lot of different games. Almost 99% of the time, it's an A&M game on the road against somebody, and so haven't had a chance to go to Ohio State or Michigan to the Big House, anything like that. But
strikes me as too cold to be intimidating.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure it is, but for me, like they don't come close to A&M, and I think anybody that's been here and is not. Is being neutral about it. It's hard to put, like, especially an A&M night game, that type of atmosphere. I mean, hell, 11 a.m. against Michigan last year was against Miami, and the playoff was crazy. I mean, everybody complained at 11 a.m. and it was still as loud as it's ever been in there. So it's hard to compete with the with Kyle Field.
I have a clause or addendum for that. The Kyle Field crowd can be fickle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to support a team when it's winning, and I've seen the Kyle Field crowd have trouble kickstarting the team when it's
not a good look. That's any place in the country. Your football team's not very good.
I think that's a differentiator.
Yeah,
is the crowd that's there. Period.
But I will say this,
because allegedly, like how many Nebraska football games I've been to, the Nebraska crowd is always there for the Nebraska team.
Yeah, well, the A&M crowd's always there for A&M. I mean, sometimes they might not be as raucous and loud, but there's always going to be 100,000 people there, no matter who they're playing. Which not many places in the country can say that.
So that's just everything you said is true. I'm not trying to dispute that. There's just the one during the decades of 8 and 4-ness. There's a lot of, you say always 100,000.
Pretty close. There was.
And then then people started going, I've seen a half, and third quarter started looking light, a lot of halftime departures, a lot of...
Yeah. I never got that. Like I could see leaving early against some scrub team that you're up 40 points on, but I can't ever remember leaving a conference game or SEC. I will say this, the only game I've ever left early for A&M football was A&M Iowa State. Don't remember what year.
Oh, Todd Blythe year.
Yeah, I don't remember the year. That's the only time I've ever gotten pissed and just walked out of the stadium.
It's got to be the Todd Blythe game.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it is. I can't remember the year, but I do feel it. But it was Iowa State. It's the only time I've ever left.
I was at the Oklahoma game in Norman. And
I wasn't there. So
it's the only. It might be the only sporting event.
I don't think anybody blame you for walking out of 77-0.
I have a thing when I go to sporting events. I never leave early because generally, okay, look, media credentials, but I paid for the ticket. Yeah. Generally, I've traveled.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm staying. I'm a sports fan. And I'm there with friends. I go to sporting events with fans. So it's not just the game. This is an event kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't leave early to beat traffic or anything like there's been a few late.
I know there's traffic. I planned for it.
Yeah, there's been baseball games that were like 18-2 on a Tuesday, at 9:00, and you bolt out. But
businessman specials.
I don't think I've ever left a basketball game early. The football, like I said, the only one I can ever remember leaving early was that Iowa State game.
Why do I want to leave early when I'm eating nachos, drinking beer, and hanging out with my friends?
Nachos,
Man, let me get out of that.
Drinking beer.
So I never leave early. So
yeah, I'm saying.
I'm going to just say, because I can't remember every game I've been to, that it's less than 5. One hand, it's less than a hand.
Yeah.
And think about the number of games I've been to that I've left even a half inning early or with 2 minutes on the clock. Okay? That's just the truth. So the only game I believe in my entire sports life I've left early was A&M OU, and it was at the half.
Yeah.
There's many things in the Fran era that just pushed me to my sports limit. Watching that game in Norman, I was with 2 other people. See, believe it or not, it was one of the few games I ever went during my media time.
What year was that? What year was it? 03, 04?
Somebody
on the internet Google it.
I actually went as a civilian.
Yeah.
I wasn't covering the game, believe it or not, because it was on the road.
Yeah, my wife gets so frustrated because she humors me and she goes to all the games that I want her to go to but she goes with me. She could care less, right? And so she's like, it's 10-0. Why are we still here? I'm like, because there's still
10-0.
There's still 4 innings left. Like, come on, like I got to finish my drink. Hold on. So yeah, I'm not a leave early person.
No, not at all. But I did that one. We left early. We won't, and the whole thing was, okay, now we can see Norman with nobody in it, and we went to eat Mexican food, which was such a huge mistake. I mean, never eat Mexican food unless you're not in Texas or California.
I can confirm that. We were driving to Colorado one time and stopped just across the border. I was like, yep, never again.
Idiotic.
It's terrible.
Do not eat
dumbest
Mexican
thing I've ever done. Now, of course, I was in my early 20s at that point. I didn't know any better.
Yeah, we learned our lessons the hard way.
Yep.
I ordered beef fajitas, and they were teriyaki. And I'm just sitting there going like, beef fajitas. Why did they even have teriyaki sauce in a Mexican restaurant?
I don't know.
It's disgusting. The queso was so runny that you could have used a straw. I mean, it is horrible. One of the worst Mexican food. So after this A&M game, now the Mexican food is the worst Mexican food I've ever eaten in I could not wait to leave Norman.
Norman sucks. I don't know why you're like, let's go see. Who cares about seeing Norman with nobody in it? Oklahoma in general sucks, man. Let's just be honest. The whole state's terrible. It's
I've been there probably 200, 300 times from the Big 12 days and stuff.
I mean, I go to
there's places.
The only good thing about Oklahoma
Norman
is the casinos, and even there, they're not really that good. They're not really that good because you got to pay for your own drinks, and they take a rake, and it's terrible. So that is the only
They have one of the best fried chicken places in the country. They got some good pizza. I found places now.
I typically just drive through Oklahoma. I don't ever stop.
Oklahoma City has some good food.
Yeah,
Brickyard.
Pass.
Have you ever been there?
Nope.
Okay. See, it's not as
driven by it.
It's not as hopeless as you're putting.
You've gone a bunch because of softball, because they used to play the Big 12 tournament there. Right?
I used to go to the Big 12 basketball tournament there, the Big 12 baseball tournament.
I forgot they used to have all that there.
Yeah, Oklahoma City almost used to be like a mini base for the Big 12 in a way.
It's like Hoover now for the SEC, pretty much.
So I spent some time there, and you drive into the state. The drive is depressing, and the beer there is bad, and the casinos, you get to gamble, but like you said, they take a rake, and the casinos are depressing.
They don't get enough of people's money as it is. Like, hey, we're going to take a little bit every hand you play.
Oklahoma City's all right, though. I mean,
just drive past it. Just drive on by.
We'll take a time out.
I'd rather go to Kansas.
What? Are you serious?
There's better barbecue there.
But Kansas is...
There's nothing. There's nothing there.
That is one of the worst drives, because by the time you get to Kansas, you've already been on the road 10 hours.
I've made it twice now here recently with the trips to Omaha. Like, Kansas is one of those, like, you got to roll the windows down and have the whole, roll the windows down and stay awake. There's nothing.
There's nothing.
There's nothing.
There is nothing,
That's what I'm saying, but it's still better in Oklahoma.
I'm going to say one more time, nothing. I hit Kansas, and I didn't know it. Does that tell you the degree of nothing? I didn't even know we had changed.
You know it. It goes from dirt to farmland. It goes from Oklahoma dirt to farmland. That's how you know.
We'll be right back. It is the Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. In uncertain times, Charles Schwab remains invested in their clients by offering personalized guidance and clarity. And it's personalized because Mark Sim is right here in College Station, and Mark Sim is our Charles Schwab branch right here in College Station. Walk in the office, sit down, shake his hand, look him in the eye. That's as personalized as it gets. Get answers to your questions. Learn more at schwab.com/College Station.
Every Monday at noon, Mitch Lyde of The Athletic joins the Louie Bellina Show to talk college football and college baseball.
So let's go!
Listen right here. Right here. Listen in. On the Zone. On the Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show. Hi, hello, welcome. The Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. They do free estimates, and they have military and veteran discounts. That's CC Electric. Now, if you've been with me today, if you get the Zone newsletter, you already knew this was happening today. And I think, on Zone Twitter, 11 o'clock, we all say what's coming up today. On my own Twitter, which is Louie B1150, I told you this was happening today, but the ticket booth, I should make like that creaking sound like a door opening, but I can't, so I shouldn't. The ticket booth right now is opening thanks to Dixie Tire Company. Caller 5 and 6 each will get a pair of tickets to the Astros and Cardinals Saturday, tomorrow game. All Brian Broadcasting Zone prize rules apply. And if you've ever won Astros tickets from Brian Broadcasting the Zone before, you're not eligible. Ever won tickets to the Astros before, you are not eligible. Call now. Caller 5 and 6 each get a pair of tickets to the Astros Cardinals tomorrow. Dial 979-693-1150. Good luck. 979-693-1150. Good luck.
What callers need to be?
5 and 6.
Okay, well, have her tell me when they're on number 4, and then I'll call.
You're just going to try and
be like J. Rice Bones. Here we go.
Going to try and time it. 979-693-1150. If you're free tomorrow, make it a Houston day.
What time's the game tomorrow? Is it
early
one?
I think it's a 6 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6:10 first pitch. 6:10. So you can wake up whenever you want tomorrow and still have plenty of time to drive into Houston, grab a fancy dinner, hit a brewery. That's not
go early. Go early. Get lunch at Truth. Hang out. Like, you will not be disappointed.
I'm a food truck at a brewery guy.
Yeah.
You put those two together before a game. Grab you some friends. Have a good time. I got a Houston posse who would gladly hook up before if necessary, kind of thing.
Go to Biggio's and have some beers outside the stadium. There you go.
There's some really nice dive bars down from Daikin too that you can.
Daikin, I still call it Minute Maid.
I do too. I still want to say Enron sometimes.
What's that? Enron? I don't ever call it Enron anymore. But I still find myself calling it Minute Maid.
Minute Maid was pretty good though.
Yeah, I don't care.
Hey, do you see the Astros won a series and they almost swept the Rockies?
Yeah, and then they were up 2-0, then lost 3-2. So come on, it's the Rockies. It should have been. We're forgetting they swept us, last week. So the Astros are terrible.
You're being way greedier than me.
They're trash.
2 out of 3. I'm happy to see that Spencer Arrighetti start. And look, last night Ryan Weiss finally got the start, but they've already broke him because they made him, relieve. But they've had 2 straight nights of great bullpen work. And look, positive signs of progress is all you can hope for right now.
Yeah.
And
until everybody gets healthy, yes. I mean, Jordan's mashing the ball.
They're never going to get healthy.
They might. One can hope. One can hope.
Sure.
Who's the Japanese player that he threw some he threw some in the outfield yesterday. So progress.
Well, I love reading the headlines that his narrative is he's having trouble adjusting to life in America.
Yeah.
So let's just have more reasons why he can't
Espada
pitch.
called around asking what to do. There's nothing you can do. It just takes time. Like pitching, whether it's here or there. Like, come on now.
Have you caught Hunter Brown firing back at Dana Brown because Dana Brown was blaming Hunter Brown for Hunter Brown's injury?
No, I did not catch that.
Okay, well, I did. When Dana Brown was talking to the media about the injury, he's like, I was really concerned when Hunter Brown was throwing too hard during his prep early in the spring. And, he was throwing 99, 98. I would like if he was throwing 95, 96. About a week later, Hunter Brown finally spoke at the meeting. He goes, well, I didn't do anything I didn't do last year.
Yeah.
And I was warming up the way I need to warm up to get ready for spring. So I don't see anything wrong with what I did. And I'm like, that's Dana Brown for you.
Yep.
Let's piss off your
star, your Cy Young, hopeful.
Even if Dana thought it was his fault and that he didn't prep right too soon, why do you tell the media that? Are you that dumb?
It's like telling, Jordan it's his fault for Espada putting him in left field all the time and he gets hurt because his manager puts him out in left field instead of DHing.
It just doesn't make sense, man.
Dana Brown's an idiot. We all knew this.
I almost want to say it breaks my heart, to be fair with you.
At least they're playing the Cardinals, so they got a chance to actually win some games.
It is so fatiguing sometimes to see that stuff.
Just wait until college baseball is over. Just don't pay attention to it until it gets.
No.
You have no choice because there's nothing else on.
Do people get no media training that live in the media? Because the GM's going to live in the media.
Yeah.
You don't
throw your players under the bus.
Okay, I'll move on. You know what? We're just going to hit some headlines as we head towards.
There we go.
Texas Tech Athletics announced that in 2027, they've dropped NC State and North Texas. I mean, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself,
Yeah.
Does this mean, future scheduling people have all, and this sounds weird to me even, they've all dropping any opponent of any value because of the future of the college football playoff where you don't have to play anyone.
Yeah,
Indiana is the poster child now for don't play anyone.
Tech was last year too. Tech didn't play anybody.
Well, they just made it and then got exposed.
Yeah.
But Indiana.
But yes, now the goal, I mean, Texas has said they were mad about the Ohio State.
NC State and North Texas are true nobodies. But the fact that NC State's just a peak team, North Texas, they're not both.
They're not the Citadel or something like that. There's still a chance that they could play well and have a chance to beat them.
It's so horrific.
Yeah.
But that's bringing a new standard to playing nobody. You said it. They're not Citadel.
Yeah.
North Texas?
They're not West Texas.
North Texas doesn't have Drew Mestemeyer. They won't anymore. I mean, really?
Yeah. No.
NC State? Just because they're a P.
But yes, this is the new norm. Teams are there's not going to be any good, out of conference games.
So bad. Okay. I just saw that and went, wow. We're
I thought you were going to say they spent another $100 million on their softball roster is going to be worth $100 million this year or something.
If they don't win this year, I think their pitcher Kennedy's going to be out. Yeah, they are going to.
She's hurt?
No, her last year.
Oh, her last year. Oh, okay.
NCAA, and they've been making a recommendation a day for the future of athletics. This one is one of the few that's I've been saying this for probably 10, 15 years. But they want a 14-week season, 2 bye weeks, and what we know is week 0 now will be week 1.
Okay.
It'll still end Thanksgiving
weekend.
Hated
week 0 anyways. How's there a 0 week? It's got to be 1.
There should be 2 bye weeks. The season is too violent.
Well, especially with the playoff now too. You're playing extra games for a lot of these teams. Having that extra bye. I agree. There should be 2 bye weeks, but there should not be 2 bye weeks between the end of the season and the college football playoff. That should not be a thing.
The college football playoff is independent of any of this conversation.
It's going to be. They're playing later.
It is such a mess.
It is the
it
schedule.
Is such a
the
mess.
Schedule on that so bad.
Remember, the length of the college football playoff currently is almost equivalent to the length of the regular season or something.
Yeah,
stupid.
I mean, it's going to run longer than it did this year. I mean,
yes, it's going to end later by day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's horrible.
It's bad.
But we love the games.
But
always be clear, the games.
The NCAA will totally fix that. We have trust in them.
Stop. Just stop it. This year, by the way, on week 0, it's August 29th. And the 2 highlight games is North Carolina, TCU, and Dublin, Ireland, and NC State, Virginia, and Rio de Janeiro.
In Brazil, huh?
Yeah, I hope that's where it is.
I hate these overseas. I hope A&M never does one of these overseas games. So pointless.
I'm kind of neutral to it. And
Unless Ireland's paying you $2 million to come play there, then those overseas games are absolutely pointless.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying. I hope A&M never does it unless they're paying a crap ton of money or something.
Why would anyone go there unless it's $1 billion?
I don't know. I mean, you really think they're getting paid a lot of money to play in Ireland? Maybe
yes.
So. Maybe.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. Especially Tech. Tech will go do it.
So and this is just something random, but like I said, headline. I saw this maybe Wednesday, and since then I've still tried to grasp with it. There was this list of the 10 most overrated football players of all time. And the list, and again, I said I struggle. It was according to AI. How could AI make a list of the most overrated players? Wouldn't a human have to input or tell it so it's still really human that then told AI based upon what I've given you, then tell me I already told you to say?
Have you asked AI to see what it says yourself?
I haven't talked to AI about this.
You should ask him.
Hey, AI, you created this list of wait a minute, if I start talking to AI like this, I'm going to worry about myself.
Yeah, you talk to Siri, don't you? Hey, Siri. I mean, it was
actually, I've used Siri before, but
Hey, ChatGPT, who is the worst football player, most overrated?
When you see a list of the most overrated anything, don't you have to be rated to be overrated?
Yeah.
Can't you? Because here you go. This list is harsh, by the way.
Is it?
Oh, they put Joe Namath at 2.
Oh, really?
And I'm like,
hey, AI is just a computer. It has no feelings.
Troy Aikman at 4.
Troy Aikman?
At 4.
That doesn't make much sense to me. Okay. I'm losing faith in AI as
they
we
put
speak.
Terry Bradshaw at 6. He got
so
4 rings.
Hall of Famers. Like, Are you sure he didn't ask who are the, I would have.
They put Marvin Harrison at 10, and there's no universe I know of that Marvin Harrison could be overrated.
I wouldn't have picked any of those guys. Like, I'm thinking of like busts and like, guys that were overrated coming in and did nothing. Like,
that's okay. A lot of times people say, okay, the biggest bust is not the same thing as overrated because who's the quarterback? That got selected as considered the greatest bust of all time.
Ryan Leaf.
No. He is. No, I'm not.
Come on now.
But it's,
Jamarcus Russell?
There we go.
Yeah.
But he can't be overrated.
The reason I hate Mel Kiper Jr. because he called him the next John Elway.
But remember something, Jamarcus Russell can't be overrated because he was never rated.
Yeah. See? He was rated. He was the number 1 pick in the NFL draft.
And he never did a thing.
He was a 4-star, so he was rated something.
Do you know they have it number 7?
No.
Johnny Manziel.
I mean, that would make sense.
No, he never played. He was never rated.
Well, yeah, so the list doesn't make sense if we're because
they say most overrated football player.
But Manziel's just a bust,
Right.
So that's what I'm saying is like, well, that's why the list makes no sense because Troy Aikman, Joe Namath, and Terry Bradshaw and Marvis Harrison are not busts. They're Hall of Famers.
Right. 4 rings. You can't be overrated.
Yeah, give me that list.
Here.
See the rest of them.
Was AI on crack that night?
I guess somebody
did someone hack AI?
I don't know. Marvin Harrison, Michael Vick, Frank Gore, Johnny Manziel, Bo Jackson.
There's something to that.
I'll give you Odell Beckham. He was a lot of hype.
Bo Jackson may be because Bo Jackson had these moments.
Yeah.
But due to injuries and other things, what did he do?
He's still a Hall of Famer. Everybody on this list, minus Michael Vick, Odell Beckham,
Johnny Manziel,
are in the Hall of Fame.
Well,
so 7 Hall of Famers.
I almost get
that.
That
so
if
it was all Hall of Famers on this, it's all 10, then the list would make sense. But since they've got 3 guys that are nowhere near or ever going to be in the Hall of Fame,
you get that. I think it's garbage. Like this AI thing. So here's was my bottom line thought. Is saying that AI did it the new thing, like when people used to say sources told me when they had no sources? Can you just make up something out of your butt and just say, well, that's what AI told me?
Yeah, I mean, you just ask it and it gives you the answer. It's supposed to be right.
Or not ask it and just put what you want and blame AI and say it's fake.
It's fake. Fake news.
Right?
I guess. No.
That's the new sources said when you had no sources.
I don't use it that much. There was a thing yesterday where the reporter was asking what are good questions to ask after a tough loss into AI. It was a reporter, and she was just putting in there. She asked AI, "What's a good question to ask?"
What did AI say?
Oh, it didn't say. It just caught.
Oh, come on!
It just caught her. I don't know what question she asked. Maybe somebody at the press conference or somebody out there saw it. I just saw the little viral thing that had her asking, But then I saw something. I don't know. But yeah, it was her asking, ChatGPT what question to ask in the press conference. Not that it's a bad thing. Who cares? I mean, I use AI to answer questions all the time.
That story almost had something in there.
No, I mean, that's just what the story was. I saw the little blip that saw on Twitter.
Which reporter?
I have no idea.
What sport?
I have no clue. I said baseball game.
Baseball, Ray, baseball.
Baseball game.
Yeah, again, back to that list. I think they made that out of their butt. They knew it'd get clicks. People would stare at it and go, this is the stupidest thing I've ever said.
Times will never
and
change.
Nobody wanted to put their name on it.
Reporters do everything for likes and clicks nowadays. That's what it's about. How many likes can I get? How many views? How many views can I get?
When we come back, final thoughts, not from AI.
Not from AI. I'm going to craft something from AI. I'm going to say, what should be my final thoughts on a sports radio talk show? Should I not do it? I will do it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
When we come back 3 minutes and 15 minutes later, Brice Jones in action? Yeah, why not? It's the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, community. That's CC Electric.
This is Bryan College Station's home for Texags, Louie, and Chip. The Zone. 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Louie Bellina Show, almost but not quite done. Presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, community. The Louie Bellina Show, Brice Jones, barbecue pitmaster, joins me inside the Charles Schwab studio. Brice did it. That was not a joke. He decided to look up the most overrated football players from AI since that genius list we had.
Yeah, and it was a completely different list. It went Tony Romo, Tim Tebow, Dak Prescott, Eli Manning, Baker Mayfield, Reggie Bush, Jay Cutler, Carson Wentz, Jadeveon Clowney, and Vince Young. So the only one that was the same was Eli Manning.
What's fascinating about that list is I think there's more in there that you could debate and consider than the other list we had.
Agreed. There's no Hall of Famers on this list.
Still some on there horrible, but still somewhat better. Where was that? Well, I just had that sheet of paper in my hand.
I took it over here.
The Houston Texans.
Well, because
Will Anderson got the extension, $150 million extension.
Over how many years?
It's the highest Houston Texans non-quarterback contract ever, and that's a good contract.
Elite pass rushers are hard to pass up.
And he's something they got right in the draft, and that's actually done right.
Yeah, absolutely. Who are they drafting next week?
Well, okay. We're kind of down to 50
I'm not a
seconds,
Texans guy, so I don't know what they need.
But in the latest mock I saw yesterday, Athletic Dane Brugler, it was awesome. They took Chase Basantis in the first round, Cassius Howell in the second round, and Tyler Onyedem in the third round.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just all Aggies. Huh?
Yeah, and I don't know how he got stuck on that team. I don't even know if he realized he did it, or he was just doing best available at the time. But so, A, they're taking linemen.
Yeah.
B, only Aggies.
Could be worse.
Right down the road. Dude, go be awesome. Go have an amazing weekend.
Later.
I will be back Monday. Look, beat the hell out of LSU, AAA. Beat the hell out of Mississippi State. More A's and more A's. And on the Louie Bellina Show, I got 2 things for you. In the playoffs, NHL start tomorrow. Go Stars. Go Stros. Go be awesome, everybody. Peace.